This is Tulshi here, and Neil is out in Vancouver.
Good evening, everybody.
Say, okay.
Welcome.
Welcome. Today will be the most exciting day because we're just going to start developing the training program for 1 day and a 2 day. And of course, next webinar we'll do 3-day program. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through the training program. And this is what's going to happen. Okay. We're going to discuss the following. Oh, by the way, before I start, any suggestion, any questions, mainly questions, please put it in the question box there. Neil will be watching out, and he will be telling the question. I'll be giving the answers along with Neil. Okay?
Yes.
Here we go. The art of developing a presentation. I call it the art. This is truly an artistic way of, you have to design it to your client's needs. Then we're going to go to the psyche of presentations. And then we're going to go how you're going to create the agenda. Then we're going to go of timing of each segment of the agenda. And then we're going to go right away the art of handling questions. That is a true art again. And then we go actual step-by-step creation of the presentation. I'll give you all this will be covered tonight. And don't forget, it'll be recorded. And so if you miss out anything, you can always go back and watch the recording. It'll be in your resource center at the Nishiyuu website for trainers. Now let's go to the first one, the art of developing presentation. There are basically two types of presentation that you'll be required to make. So you have to know, first of all, the first one is when you are engaged by a client to fulfill a particular purpose. Number two, when you deliver a generic Nishiyuu program for personal development and empowerment. The number one is the one that let's go to number one. The art of developing presentations, when you're engaged by a client to fulfill a particular purpose. Think of this. It may be, you let your client define in writing the specific purpose they want to accomplish. Because while writing, even if they don't give it to you in writing, if they tell you verbally, what you must do is put it in writing what they told you to do, get it and send them an email saying this is what you want. And if they say, if this is what you want, please send us an email back. This will be agreed. Because sometimes the client doesn't have time or doesn't want to do it. So if you do that, it's only to know exactly if you're both on the same page. And this particular Nishiyuu training program could be reduction of stress at work. Like, say, in the health department, there's a lot of stress there, for example, for the frontline workers, and they want you to help them to reduce stress. Or B, to increase productivity at work. Well, it could be absenteeism, could be too much stress has caused lack of productivity. Or for a school or a situation like even in handling bullying. And of course, self-harm, etc. It could be for a specific purpose they'll ask you to do things. And you can set your agenda accordingly. So this is where you have to really go all the training that you've got. You can say, okay, now I'm going to create an agenda. So you go to your resource center. You go through this program again, what we're recording here, and then you'll have a bank of PowerPoints. All the PowerPoints will be in the resource center. And you can pick and choose slides and put them together. And then, depending on what time limit you have been given to do the training, you can develop a presentation, agenda, and then deliver it.
Yeah, they'll be able to download the PowerPoint and the agenda as well, separate documents to work on.
That will be when the generic one.
Yeah.
Custom, they have to create the agenda with it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're engaged by a client to fulfill a particular purpose, we're going to continue. The principle is this. When you're developing, it's 4 P's. Purpose. What purpose are they wanting to achieve? The product that you have to develop for them, that is a service, and the process by which you deliver, and the price, cost of production and delivery. For example, when Nishiyuu department has offered you to produce training programs, and they'll pay you $40 an hour, which was one of the first webinars we did, we told you that was the price they were setting. I know we're not used to pricing so much in the world, but you have to be paid. You have to also travel. You have to have time to prepare. All these will cost. So the cost of production and delivery. Then you have to go to your 3-day program PowerPoints in the resource center. Review the slideshows, because now in the Nishiyuu training department and in Nishiyuu training resource center, trainers resource center, which is exclusively yours, you will have the bank of slideshows. Every PowerPoint is put in a slideshow. You can manually run the slideshow, or you can let the slider go. Plus, on top of that, you'll have the PowerPoint presentation itself there, which you can download in your own computer and then edit it to your needs or keep it as it is. Depends totally on you. Is that right, Neil?
That is absolutely right. Yep.
Okay. Because Neil is doing that, so I have to confirm with him.
Yep.
The slideshows and download the PowerPoints and tailor your presentation on the principle of this 4 P's: purpose, product, process, price. Remember, you're running a service, and every service is a business. You have to think in terms, otherwise you cannot serve. If you don't get paid, you cannot do the business. Even the charitable organizations pay the people to do it. Every nurse gets paid. He's giving a service. So don't ever think that receiving payment is not such a good thing. A day may come when you become very wealthy and happy. You can do it just out of the love of doing it. But also remember, when you give something for nothing, they cannot put a value to it. I don't remember that even when you do that, you will sometimes in a certain place you have to do it because they don't have the money to pay you. Because you want to do it. It was out of love. But when you're doing this for any organizations, any body of people, and there is room cost, there's travel cost, you have to buy gas, etc., etc. So when you deliver generic Nishiyuu program for personal development and empowerment, this is the second category. you have the presentations already prepared in 2 formats. You already have that, and it will be in the resource set. 1, slideshow in your resource center in the nishiiyuways.com website. 2, you have the actual PowerPoints to download and modify if you so desire. Nothing is carved in stone. Some slides you may not be comfortable with. Some slides you may be comfortable with. So you have to adjust. You have to be comfortable. You have to what you're presenting. Otherwise, it'll show when you're presenting it. The third one, the psyche of presentations. First of all, I'm going to go through all this, and then I'm going to go through the presentation itself. So the psyche of presentations, how to enter the heart and mind of your audience. Now that is the heart of any presentation. You can have the best slides, you can have the best projector, and if you don't understand the psyche, the emotion, the heart and mind of your audience, your presentation will not be effective. It'll be just delivery of words. As usual, what you should do is start with what you are planning to accomplish at that session. Tell them what the end state, that is called the logos. Remember one thing, always tell them how they will leave that room when they finish, what state of mind they will be in. And sometimes you have to be very specific and you have to tell the truth. I know you'll always tell the truth, but don't exaggerate though. But then they'll be disappointed. Then tell them why they need it and how it is going to help them in their lives to bring health, happiness, and prosperity. That is called the pathos, the emotion. The word comes from the pathology, sympathy, empathy, path, the path to their heart, pathos. Then tell them the reasons why this program will work for them. It is there to create the ethos, that is to create the credibility. It is their ancestral teachings of the elders which has survived for centuries. Now that is called the ethos. I just give you a quick example of logos, pathos, ethos. Everything in life you do, just like what I did now, I gave you a logos, the idea of what you're going to do, and you're making the presentation. Then I gave you the emotion. I'm giving you the pathos on this is how you do it. Then the third point is, then I give you the credibility and the reasons why this will work. With you, I don't have to do so much or spend so many days and hours with you, and you've gone through the training, you've been graduated from this training, so you don't have to. Ethos is not all that important, but it is still important. The psyche of the presentations, how to enter, can continue from there. So logos, pathos, ethos. Never forget this. Even when you are talking to a child, to your children, give them the idea, give them the emotion, and give them the reason why they should do it. Logos is the idea or the vision. Pathos is the emotion and outcome. Ethos, credibility and history. This you can apply in every aspect of your life, on a one-to-one communication with your partner, wife, spouse, husband, with your family, with the world. Everything operates that way. So after you've done that, now you're going to creating the agenda and the timing of a one-day program. So let's go and begin. So now I set up the framework. Now you're going to do it. Remember, you have 7 hours in a working day. You know, people say 8 hours, but you have an hour for lunch and there are 15 minutes for health breaks, etc. Use the first 1 to 1.5 hours. The first 1 to 1.5 hours will be logos, pathos, ethos in a seed format to plant in the hearts of the client. This could be the attendee, it could be a group, it could be one person. Tell them the purpose, product and process. Don't talk about pricing now. Tell them what the purpose is all about, what this product is, and how you're going to show it to them. A product could be a service or the material inside it. Then show them the end state, what they will become and why. You have to give them some reason behind it, why they'll do that. They will not be the same. Tell them they will not be the same person at the end of the day. When they leave the workshop or seminar, whatever you call it. You know, I've seen people change in front. You'll see people change in front of you. You'll see their faces changing. You don't know their chemical changes take place in each of their body. Every emotion sends up thousands of sparks inside us. Give them a break, at least every 2 hours, or better still, 1.5 hours for 15 minutes. You know why? Because they need to refresh themselves. Absolutely, they need to refresh themselves. Otherwise, they can't take it. There's something called law of diminishing return. Then, when the mind gets full, it just flows over. So what's the point in teaching if they're not able to absorb? And at the beginning of the break, make sure to tell them what time they should return to the seminar room. And tell them what they will learn when they return. It's like a commercial break. Remember, most of the when you watch TV, they take you to a peak and say, and on the other side of the break, we will come up with how the Malaysian Airlines, somebody says they found a debris, and we'll tell you where. And so they keep you hanging.
Yes, I can't wait to come back.
Yeah, can't wait to come back. So give them something to get excited about so they'll be on time. Don't call the break a coffee break. Call it a health break. You're creating health, your emotional health, physical health. You are a contributor to the health. You're working with the health department. These breaks are important for refreshing their minds to absorb your training. These breaks are not given for nothing. Next, download the agenda from your resource center in the Nishiiyuu.com website and make changes if necessary. Again, I must tell you this, and listen to me. There's nothing carved in stone. This is your program. You are a professional. You will take it to various kinds of people. You may need to change it according to the audience. And don't ever all of you that I have trained, I know are very smart. Not only smart, you have shown your acumen. And believe you me, I'm fully confident. If you change it, you'll change it for the better. Where there's a video from for example, from the elephant on the chain, download the video and play it with the appropriate discussions in the video, or use the stills given in the PowerPoint. I'll show you in a minute. Sometimes you may not be able to play the elephant and the chain. And sometimes, in certain areas, I've got these objections in many places, that not many places that we don't know what elephant is. It's not the question of elephant here. It's a question of showing how our self-image is formed. An elephant is the biggest mammal in the world. Elephants don't grow in America or Canada, but you'll see so many commercials with elephants in America, because elephant represents the closest thing to the dinosaur in the old times. Giants, how these giants are chained and moved around by their trainers. So you have to say, if they can be, and they're very smart creatures. They're one of the smartest creatures living. They're very affectionate, family-oriented. So you download this video and play it with the appropriate discussions in the video, or use the stills given in the PowerPoint. As somebody was telling, that we have polar bears here, and especially in Washkagamish one, he said, nobody has tamed a polar bear yet. I don't know of any. So you can't give a good example out of that. Okay. And I was doing this with this. I gave a presentation in Washkagamish and came up with that. And then they understood it. Follow the agenda. Practice the presentation and time it before delivery. Mark you. That's why, remember, Sam and then Nishiyuu department said, we'll give you equal time. If you're doing a one-day presentation, we'll give you the one-day fees to prepare for it. If it's $40 an hour or $50 an hour, we'll give you for preparing $50 an hour or $40 an hour. Equal time. Why? Because it is absolutely necessary for you to prepare. You may do it every day, but remember one thing. Every single seminar, workshop is a new one. I never take it for granted. Like for this presentation which I made to you, I spent better half of the day putting it together. Now, I've been doing it all my life, this sort of a thing. But I took the time because I respect what you'll be spending your time. You'll be using this for the rest of your life. And I had to put, though I can do it in my sleep. I can do it falling off a log, but I went through each slide, each plan to do it. And this is a 1-hour presentation, and I spent over 6 hours over it, plus all the hours that went to coming to this point.
So they were also allowing for reporting time as well in that time.
Yeah, also reporting time. You have to also report what happened.
Yeah.
Follow the agenda. Practice the presentation and time it before delivery. Never trying to wing it. It will backfire because you will not look like a professional. The actual step-by-step creation of the presentation. Okay, so let's go for a one-day program. Let's go to the agenda for a 1-day program. And then let's go to the agenda for a 2-day program. And then we'll have a brief discussion how to work it. So I have taken out over here, I'm going to close this one here, end this show. Okay, and I'm going to go to the agenda here. Okay, this is the 2-day. Okay, this is the 1-day program. Okay, here I'm going to show you, this is what you would be giving to the students or the attendees or to your clients, okay, which you can modify. See, the header is Nishiiyuu Personal Development 1-day program. And you're calling timeless because Nishiiyuu is timeless. Principles of success, the Nishiiyuu way. And what does it do? This is the tagline. Reformatting the mind to download and apply the infinite power of Nishiiyuu to be what we want to be. So you're using modern language. You're downloading and apply the infinite power of Nishiiyuu to be what we want to be. Then the agenda comes in. See, 9 a.m. to 10:30, introduction, explanation of the program, its objectives, what they should expect to happen to them at the end of the session, how this session will be conducted to get the best results. And then you bring in, this is, see, 1.5 hours here. Self-image. Who am I? People don't want to answer the question. And yet it is the most important question. What is self-image and how it affects every aspect of our life? How it affects our thinking, doing, and having. How self-image is formed. Demonstration of how self-image is formed through a video of the elephant and the chain, part 1 of 3, where there is no video, use the PowerPoint pictures and explain. You will see in the PowerPoint there are pictures there. But it might be a good idea to have the video and say, this is the video, watch this video 3 or 4 minutes. And everybody gets impacted. I haven't seen anybody that does not see how self-image is formed. That giant elephant, what happened to them? The belief system. All our belief system has been given by somebody else. So that's why you're back to this is why you are going to Nishiyuu way. This is your ancestral belief system. And self-image. So now you give them the break here, 10:30 a.m. to 10:45, and it's the health break. So they come back at 10:45, then you say awakening to the Nishiyuu and forming the new self-image. You start off with the story of the ocean. Ocean is the Nishiyuu, as the world we live in now. This is what you have been given, the little well. But the Nishiyuu is the ocean. That can't go away. Without the ocean, you can't have a well. The ocean, from the ocean, water rises up to the air, evaporates, and comes down as rain to fill the wells. Then our mindset is the size of our world. Story of the frog of the well and frog of the ocean. So now you do them, and that should be a discussion point. See, this is almost 2 hours here, or 2 hours and 15 minutes, because you'll be showing them the discussions will take place. So you're not teaching. Then you're going at, Neil, you can always interrupt when there's a question.
Yep. There's no questions yet.
Okay, 12 p.m. to 1. You see, I say lunch, nourishing the body. 1 p.m. to 2:30, transformation starts with dissolution. Change is traumatic. Change from Western thought patterns to Nishiyuu thought patterns. That's the metamorphosis. So every change dissolves the old person, and you resist it. Everybody resists change. They want to change, but when change comes, or change is facing them, they don't want it. Just like the caterpillar is very happy eating, and not doing anything. Then when the eating becomes a problem, it's like, how long can I be eating? It gets still. And from his own body oozes out his chrysalis, a cocoon, and dissolves itself. And from that it emerges wings and proboscis and can fly long distances. You know, some butterflies fly from Mexico to Canada every year. So this change, so this is where you are actually showing them how they're going to change and what will happen when they change. They will have even friends and family seeing them and saying, what happened to you? So this is where they have to stand their ground and then influence their people. People don't like anybody else to change if they can't change. So you have to teach them that. Then you give them another health break for 2:30 to 3 p.m. See, over here, we're giving half an hour because they have eaten lunch. And that was a tremendous experience over here. And so they're going to have at least half an hour there. You can give them 15 minutes, but I usually go to half an hour. But 3 to 5 p.m., you set goals and visions, the Nishiiyuu way. We live in it because when you have that, then you set goals. Most people really, if you go there, don't have goals. It's a new thing to them. Their goal is to get through the day every day. When you have real goals, days pass by and you don't even notice it. You're still living in your goal and your visions. And they're surrounding you all the time. We live in a vision every moment of our life. Whose vision are you living in? If you don't have a vision of your own, you are certainly living somebody else's vision. And then explain, why is it so difficult to believe that our vision creates our reality? You go back and listen to that webinars and think of it. Then you leave them with the homework, self-assessment, exercise, and what do you want to exercise? That means you give them, set a goal, self-assessment, what do you think of themselves? We'll add something here. Neil, don't forget to add, there's a form they should fill up.
Yeah.
Okay, so this I gave you as a example for one day. Now, to match that, let's go to the PowerPoint presentation.
And they'll recognize this agenda too, because this will match the PowerPoint they were practicing on during their training. Yeah.
Yes. So this is the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. This is the one day. So I'll go to the slideshow the one day here. Okay. And let's go from the beginning. See over here, this is matching the one day here. We do not get what we want. We get what we are. Our self-image gives birth to our desires. We are our self-image. Topics we're going to discuss today: our self-image and our personality, our self-image and its effects on our lives. Our self-image is how our self-image is formed, how to live a purpose-led life, how to get what we want, what is Nishiyuu and its way to achieve all of the above. This is the introduction. You say this is what we're going to discuss today. Everything starts with a want, with want. Most people don't know what they want. Let us start this journey of transformation with something very tangible, with one question. What do I want? The most important question. Before we move forward, let us pause and ask. Remember, all of you went through that in Valdor. And what agony some of you went through, you don't remember. Some of you may remember. What do I want? Write it down. Don't show it to anybody. I'm not going to go through the one day because it will take me a whole day. We have a few minutes left. Okay. So that's there. It'll be in the resource center.
And you can see it's very practical, as they did in the sessions. But it's all about the participants. It's it's practical for them to develop themselves. Yeah.
What do I want? We will have a list. Pick out the most important one. So we can go through that, and this will be there, and you can go through that. If you have any difficulties, remember, you can always write to me. So next, go to the...
You can go to the 1-day, the 2-day agenda.
Let's go to the 2-day agenda. Which is the 2-day?
The first, on the one on the left, I think it is, yeah.
So the 2-day agenda will be the same 1 day, the first day, and the second day will be living a life of purpose. So it can be this like a module, 2 modules. You can do 1 day, and you can second day is 9 a.m., 10:30 is you can, but you have to start off with what is the whole thing. Like you have to go back to this section here and tell them, like everything you have to start off with explanation. In the PowerPoint it's going to be there. Explain the program, its objectives. If you're doing the second day as a separate one, but the second day is not a separate one. It is the first day and the second day. So now, living a life of purpose, the Nishiyuu way. Roots of the tree determines the strength of the tree, nurturing the Nishiyuu roots. Nishiyuu declaration of the Council of Chiayi. So there you'll have the PowerPoint presentation, what the elders in Montreal wrote down, and you'll have that. So that is creating the ethos. Then you give them the health break, creating a new mindset and combating anxiety and despondency, the Nishiyuu way. A crucial step before one can even set goals and visions for one's life. Free the mind, the Nishiyuu way. Steps to stillness, mindfulness. It's like the meditation. Story of the scorpion and the frog. Download the video from the resource center. Even if you want to tell the story, download it yourself. Hear it. I have told the story from Thailand, and you can actually download the story. Or you can even find the story in the book, Ancient Secrets of Success. But you can say it in your own words, unless you want to play the video. It's all up to your audience, up to your state of what you want to do. And so this is the flexibility is there. Then how to raise belief level with the Nishiyuu way. The different approaches between the Western way and the Nishiyuu way. Okay. You'll remember a lot. You'll remember a lot. All this will trigger your own training in Valdor. The 5 days we had in Valdor were this, and the rest was how you will train them. A new Nishiyuu mindset for a healthy body and healthy mind and prosperity. Then, of course, you give them a break, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., lunch, nourishing the body, and then again, in the afternoon, they feel a little tired. Give them 1 to 2:30. Goals and visions defines a person. Being and doing creates having and not vice versa. How to form the new self-image by setting goals and visions from the freedom of the Nishiyuu and living in it. And there are PowerPoint presentations to match this. And you've already been trained in that. Then 2:30 to 3:33 p.m. health break. Again, after lunch, this is an intense subject. And then they will want to discuss things with you. In the break, sometimes they'll come up to you and talk to you. And you can even shorten the break if you don't have much time. But I would suggest to keep it not less than 15 minutes or 20 minutes.
Well, sometimes you can have like a stretching, you get the exercises going and stuff like that.
Stretching, or standing, doing some yoga exercises. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., 2 hours is the difference between goals and visions, the difference between fantasy and vision. An individual without a vision lives in someone else's vision, the importance of having one's own vision. Setting goals and visions for one's life proactively, not as a reaction to things. This is what I really want, not because I am forced to, not because I'm stuck here. If I had everything myself, and what if somebody asked me what did I want, I would say this is what I want. And in synchronicity with family and nation, with my community. How not to set visions and goals as a reaction to past experiences. That means anger or hatred or bad memories and present conditions only, but proactive, the Nishiyuu way. So that is the, what do you call? So now let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation of the, let's say, enable editing. Okay. Now, okay, let's go to slideshow. And let's go slideshow here from beginning. Day 2. Okay, then I'm quickly going to go through that. Okay, this is what happened. It's got stuck.
It's not going?
I think it's still winding up.
Press it again, or right click and maybe end it and see if it's.
I can't even see my mouse.
Press the escape key maybe.
Pressing it. Okay. Okay. Now, let us, while this is winding up, let me tell you something. You don't want to waste a single moment with you. Okay, here it comes. Day 2. One of the stories that you should always tell them is the story of the bee thinker, the worm thinker, and the, what do you call it? and the fly thinker. You remember that story?
Mm-hmm.
If one thinker, there you are, living life on purpose, setting goals and visions the Nishiiyuu way. You see what I did? I was stuck here, and then you never get disturbed. Because you're a professional, you can always come up with things things to talk to them relevant to the fact without trying to crack jokes. Because if you crack jokes at this time, what will happen? You lose all the impact, the seriousness that you have created. First of all, jokes are beautiful. Laughter is fantastic. But when some subjects, when you're serious about it, don't make light of it. The Nishiyuu, nurturing the Nishiyuu roots. Remember, this was done by Abraham. The 7 rites of passage. And Abraham has a PowerPoint presentation for 7 rites of passage. I did not put it up here because I will need his permission to do so. But this he gave, and I'll ask him, and you can talk to him as well. He's got a beautiful PowerPoint presentation on the 7 rites of passage. The roots of the tree determine the strength of the tree. Strong, deep roots, and the tree can withstand any outside onslaughts. No roots, no fruits. Then the Nishiyuu agreement. This document was started by the Council of Nishiiyuu elders to create a document to back up the trainers for their work as Nishiyuu trainers. And this is the document itself. And it's put in a PowerPoint presentation for you to go through. As we're going to lack time, you can go through it on your own leisure, and you will see how it matches the agenda. If it doesn't match for you, then you can adjust it accordingly. It depends on who you're presenting it to. I'm going to quickly go through. We live and move and have our being in Him. The Nishiyuu, without free will, there is no spirituality. The values of the Nishiyuu way: free will, love, respect, truth, acceptance, and universal tolerance. Values of the Nishiyuu way: living in freedom and peace, without judgment of others, is the premise of the Nishiyuu way of beliefs. The Nishiyuu way is self-responsibility, self-reliance, and self-respect, sharing and helping each other. And you have to always remember, this is something, your ancestral thing. This is done by your elders. They all sat down. There are videos to back that up, and you will see the videos in the website, how they're talking about it, and how they talk about this information. This Nishiyuu came from their elders and their elders back to eternity. Humility and integrity, gender equality, equality according to capacity and capability, balance and harmonization with all creation, all living animals and every living thing. Remember, even the stone was living when Elder Robbie Matthew held the stone in his hand. No other gifts the Creator gives you. They're all in you. You are a witness on behalf of Shaimandu and speak on behalf of Shaimandu, the voice of Shaimandu which encompasses the earth, why you were given the gift of sight and sound. All that you have is sacred, and how to use those gifts in a sacred manner. You walk your talk. Then the protocols of mating, whether human or all living things, are the same. Protocols of hunting and respecting the animals, offering before and after the feast. Faith, hope, and love. And number 1 is love. Love brings faith and hope. The Nishiyuu way is the way of our ancestors. The Nishiyuu way is setting aside our ego and living life with acceptance and tolerance of all people's beliefs and cultures. The Nishiyuu way is not passing judgment on others' behaviors, respecting all life, whether human or otherwise. The Nishiyuu way accepts and believes that everything and everyone is spirit. What a powerful line. The Nishiyuu way accepts and believes that everything and everyone is spirit. The Nishiyuu way actions shall not in any way diminish or harm our spirits or another spirit in any harmful way. The Nishiyuu way is totally accepting and being proud of whom we are and not coveting the ways of other cultures. Can you imagine the broadness of it? And you can spend so much time just discussing each of the aspects. The Nishiyuu way is being in balance spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Then you go into creating a new Nishiiyuu mindset, combating anxiety and despondency in the Nishiyuu way. A crucial step before one can even set goals and visions for one's life. You can tell them, how can you set a goal with an anxious and despondent mind? So this is one thing you have to do. I'm going to end this show that this PowerPoint will always be with you. This PowerPoint will always be with you. Let me go back to the webinar. Okay, and
from current slide, yeah.
From current slide. So I showed you actual step-by-step creation and presentation. So we went to that art of handling questions. And the next point. I know we're going to go a little bit over time, but listen, not too long. The art of handling questions. There are two types of questions. One, a genuine inquiry to know more. Two, to prove a point, where it is not really a question but a statement. A lot of people don't get audiences. So you have to make sure that you know what kind of a questionnaire that is. And so they want to make a statement. How to handle a general inquiry question. Repeat the question clearly. Whatever question they are given, don't answer right away. Say, is this your question? Repeat it. Why? Because that person may have spoken softly and the rest of the audience hasn't heard it. Every question is a benefit to you. And it will be only more beneficial if all the other members, all the other attendees heard the question. So your answer will be meaningful to them. So that way you repeat the question loud and clear. And then always begin by saying, it is a very good question, because there is no bad question. Remember, every question helps you in engaging the audience. Never answer a question unless you're sure you know the answer. If you don't know the answer, tell them. You'll find out and let them know later. So I don't know the answer to that question. Don't guess. To prove the next kind of question is to prove a point, where it is not really a question but a statement. Listen, and if it's too long, interrupt very politely and firmly. Say, we are restricted by time here. We can take up this issue at a later time, as there are others involved here and we need to finish the presentation. We don't want to go off course. However, you can't do that with anybody that is elders, but you have to take the step, otherwise your whole presentation can be hijacked. If the person is really interested, they can meet you after the seminar is over and discuss it with you. Do not offend the person. For heaven's sake, do not ever offend anybody. Be polite, be firm, and if they still continue, you have to give some leverages. But don't let anybody hijack your presentation. Remember, all questions have a quest. Pinpoint what are they looking for. That is the logos, the idea. Ask questions if it is not clear as to what they are really looking for. Sometimes questions are muddled. So keep on questioning the questioner till you refine the question, and then formulate the question, repeat the question, and then answer the question. You don't have to answer right away. You can pause and answer slowly and clearly. Repeat the question at least twice so everybody can understand your answer. Do not actual step-by-step creation of the presentation. Do not use the next slide. Use PowerPoint as a teleprompter. Use it as notes. Sometimes people like, no PowerPoint should have more than 26 words on it. You can see that this has more than 26 words. But if you need to have more, make bullets and slide it in one at a time like you have seen in this presentation. If I had all of the thing right in the front, you won't pay attention to me. You'll start reading the slide. See, I'm going to put another thing. See, I brought this up. You wouldn't. So you will lose their attention if your slide is crowded with paragraphs and stories. Actual step-by-step slides to match agenda. In your Nishiyuu Resource Center, you have all the PowerPoints that were used in this training. You can mix and match them according to agenda, as long as it is sequenced to drive a point home and matches your presentation. You can always replace a video with stills depending on the audience and the length of the time you've got. Remember, all presentations and discussions that you have can be very effective if you remember logos, pathos, ethos. The idea, the emotion, and the credibility, and the reason why the logos will work. Next webinars, next will be on Monday, Neil?
Yep, next one is on Monday night, yep.
We'll develop a 3-day program and an introductory 1-hour presentation for promoting your training workshops. Then how to build a training and development organization of your own to promote Nishiyuu training.
And that'll be on Wednesday night, next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday night. You're professionals. You'll have your own. See, this is something you've got developed professionally. This will never die. Every other thing in the world will go obsolete. Most of the things will go obsolete. But this people will need. The human mind never goes obsolete. The art and science of public speaking and private discussions.
And that'll be Thursday night. So it's a busy week next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights.
Yes. So you have to remember. Now, this is the thing. Remember, you have a vision. I'll always show this every time. A person without a vision looks like this. You have to know what you want. Spend all the time you need to figure out clearly what you want to achieve as a trainer. The end state. And Nishiyuu is the key to your world. No matter where you go, I'll be watching you. Remember that. Just knock. Make sure you send us all your details. I'm going to tell you this over and over again. Otherwise your website will have, your page will have nothing written on it. Just a beautiful photograph. Each of you has a page on the website. This website will be advertised by Nishiiyuu department. So remember that. Logos, pathos, and ethos. I think we just 5-6 minutes past our 1 hour. And
That is great. Everybody's happy out there. I think no questions. So
okay,
we'll be putting this up on the web review
it
tomorrow.
will be up on the web for replay anytime at your leisure. And I'll talk to you on next Monday.
Fantastic. And the agendas and the PowerPoints, we'll be doing some adjustments, but it should be all ready by tomorrow.
Okay. Now, we'll put it up in the website. Yeah. Okay.
And
good night, everybody.
Yes. Logo. Maria said logos, pathos, and ethos.
Yes. By the way, try this with everything that you work with, anybody you work with your mother, with your father, with your children, with your family, with your boss. Try it. This is good old Plato's way. Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you on Monday.
See you, man.